Hey and welcome to another tutorial. Today we'll continue with drawing polygon shapes inside Microsoft Word using Visual Basic for applications, that is using macros, and we will use polar coordinates to do that. This is what we have from the last time. We were able to draw some polygons and to highlight those edges or vertices with different shapes. Today we will move to more intricate shapes including stars, those sun-like shapes, and of course gears. So finally we will be able to draw something which is not easily accessible from the Insert Shapes drop-down menu. Now to quickly remind what the polar coordinates are, or to summarize what we've learned in previous tutorials. Let's say you have the origin point, for example in here, being the point 0 and 0 degrees. And now instead of specifying the position being the x and y value, we can say that a certain point is measured as a distance from the origin, being the r as a radius and the angle theta. Now we cannot say, or we cannot tell Word to draw a point on position r and theta. In order to do it, we have to first convert it to Cartesian coordinate system, which is the x and y value. And for x, we simply say radius r times cosine the angle theta, and y equals r times sine the angle theta. And that's actually all that's needed to convert from polar coordinate system from the radius and the angle to the Cartesian, which is the x and y value. That's also what was used to draw all those shapes up on top. So what I will do is I will probably start with deleting all those shapes and opening the macro which was used to draw those shapes. This is a draw polygon macro from the last time. And you can see that the code is fairly simple. We just set the number of segments, which is also used to specify the size of the array which holds all those points. Then we set the random values for the origin, radius, and the color, and we just set those points and draw this shape. This is the code which was used to draw those small shapes around the vertices. I will comment it out for now, I don't need it. I will raise the number of segments to maybe like 32 or so I have enough points. And I will run this macro to see if everything works. So if I run the macro, I will have almost like a circle shape. Now what I would want to do is I would like to change the position of each vertex. So for each point, for one point I want this to be closer to the center, the other one will be farther from the center, and I will do it for each vertex. So one is closer, one is far away, and when I do this, what I will get is this star-like shape. So in order to do this, I have to set the radius to a different value. Right now I'm setting the radius outside the loop. So the radius is set to 100 for each point. I have to set the radius different for each point, and it will be based on the counter. So what I can say is I can say if counter modulus 2 equals 0, this means modulus 2 will give us value 0 or 1. So if it's 0, I will set the radius to 100. Otherwise, I will set the radius to a different value, maybe 80 or so. I will say end if, and if I run this macro, immediately I get a star-like shape. Now I can set the outer radius and inner radius, those two, to any other value. So I can set it to maybe like only 40 to have longer spikes, or I can set the number of segments to only 16 to have few spikes. I can do all kinds of stuff, but since we have this Insert Shapes menu, which has the entire group dedicated to stars, there is not much of a reason to do it manually like this. However, compared to the Insert Shapes drop-down menu, we can do much more with our custom code, because we don't have to just stick with number 2. We can set the modulus 3, for example, which will give us number 0, 1, or 2. So 1, when it equals to 0, that is, one point will have the radius of 100, and other 2 points will have the radius of maybe 80 or so. So if I run this, it's kind of strange shape because I have just few segments. If I increase number of segments to maybe 64, you will see that one point is being moved far away from the center while other 2 are close to the center. And there is this strange connection because the 64 is not divisible by 3. So if I change this to 60 instead, which is a number divisible by 3, there is a nice connection up here. I can also do it the other way around. Instead of saying that 1 point will be far away, I can say it will be 80 and 2 points will be 100. If I run this, you will see I almost get like the gear-like shape, except it's missing some parts. But that could be added for sure. So instead of saying if counter modulus 3 equals some value, I can say if it's smaller or bigger than some value. So if I say counter modulus 4 is smaller than 2, this means that 2 vertices or 2 points will have the radius of 100 and other 2 points will have the radius of 80. So if I do it like this, immediately I get this nice looking gear shape. And again, just by specifying the radius, the outer radius and the inner radius and the number of segments, and of course the modulus number, I can do it do other number as well. That will just increase the spacing between those spikes. Or I can do it the other way around. I can say if it's smaller than 4, that will mean that the spacing will be smaller. I get all those kinds of shapes. So finally we are getting shapes which are not easily accessible from the Insert Shapes drop-down menu. There is no gear in there, but with our custom code we can get any gear we can. And that's basically it for today's tutorial. Thanks for watching.